Hello viewers, good morning, welcome to this session. I am going to explain some of the important passages left from Lycidas by John Milton. I have already explained some of the passages earlier. The next passage is thus: fame is no plant, mead, line number 78 to 84. These lines are reintroduced from Lycidas by John Milton, a great poet of the a great poet of England. He was a very learned poet who knew Greek, Latin, French, and English as well. John Milton was a budding poet, and so was his friend Edward, King Edward, who is represented by Lycidas in the poem. Now, here we have a digression from the main theme of Lycidas. The main theme of Lycidas is to bemoan and bewail the death of Edward King, who is Lycidas in the poem. But by the way, the poet talks about fame in the poem. The poet says that fame is no plant that grows on field. The poet means to say that Edward King was a budding poet. He was to get great name and fame as a poet. So, when he was to get name and fame, he was cut off by the cruel hand of death in the youth of his life, in the prime of his life. Then the poet considers that true name and fame does not come in this world. True name and fame comes in heaven after death. True name and fame is made in heaven according to the actions, according to the deeds of men, judged by God. So, fame is no plant that grows on mortal soil. It's a very famous poem, a very famous passage on fame. The passage is full of emotions, sentiments, feelings, and the poet also talks of his own life, because Milton is also a famous poet, and he also thinks of his own fate after his death. Now, I talk about the next passage. Blind mouth belongs, line number 119 to 121. This passage is taken from Lycidas by John Milton. This passage is also a digression from the main theme of the poem. The main theme of the poem is bewailing the death of Edward King, who is Lycidas in the poem. But by the way, the poet talks about the Church of England. The last but not least mourner is Saint Peter. Saint Peter comes to mourn the death of Lycidas. It is because Lycidas was allotted to become a priest of church. Therefore, Saint Peter comes to Wewell to lament the death of the budding poet Edward King. Now, the poet gives a very real picture of the position of church. The poet exposes the corruption that was prevalent in church, as we find corruption prevalent elsewhere in the world today. The poet says that Peter has a noble work to do. His duty, his function is to preach the people, to tell about God, to tell about heaven. His duty is to preach people about religiosity, religion. But Saint Peter is no more interested in pious duty. He is interested in minting money. He has blind mouth. Here the poet makes use of metaphor. Blind mouth means one who are gluttons, who only think of eating, enjoying, and living happily in life, and doing no significant work. So Saint Peter is presented as a blind mouth. He believes in eating, drinking, and marrying. He has no genuine feeling for religiosity, for God. Thus the poet exposes the corruptions in the church those days through this passage. So this is a digression from the main theme of the poem. The poet talks about the position of church because Edward King was to undertake this pious duty. That's why the poet talks about the condition of church, the position of church by way of the poem. Though it is a digression, but it has an indirect connection with the main theme of the poem. Now let me talk about the next passage. It was that fatal thine, line number 100 to 102. Now in this passage, the poet gives an account of the ship that wrecks on the coast of on the coast of the sea. Edward King was to return Ireland, but his ship wrecks and he dies drowning in the sea. Now the poet, following the pastoral convention of holding an inquest, as it were, over the dead body of the shepherd Lycidas, the poet summons all the relevant witnesses like Triton, Hippodates, and many others. On the relevant summons all the relevant witnesses like Triton, Hippodates, and others. Triton, the herald of Neptune, clears Neptune of the charge of causing the death of Lycidas, who is really Edward King. Waves, winds, or a stormy gust of wind were also not it judged to be responsible for the death of Lycidas, who is really Edward King. Finding no other explicable reason to count for the death of Lycidas, who is really Edward King, the poet comes to the conclusion that the ship itself was unseaworthy and unlucky, presumably having been built during an eclipse. It must have been fitted out with sails, ropes, and riggings under the malign influence of the curses of wicked and malicious spirits. It is believed that when some work is done during eclipse, it is inauspicious, it has to be fatal, it has to be dangerous. So the poet does not blame Triton or Triton, Hippolytus, others, Triton, the herald of Neptune, but the ship itself, which is presumably built during the eclipse. The poet refers to many classical allusions because the poet was a great learned person who studied classical literature in depth. So the poet refers to classical figures in the passage. The passage is pregnant with meaning. It makes use of many literary devices such as metaphors, simile, and personification. That's all. Thanks for watching.